Close your eyes and imagine a world without a morning brew. No lattes. No espressos. No. Don't talk to me yet, mugs. For most of human history, that was the reality. The story of coffee doesn't begin in a laboratory or a boardroom. It begins on a dusty hillside in Ethiopia with a herd of very confused goats. The legend goes back to the 9th century and a goat herder named Kaldi. He noticed that after eating the bright red berries from a certain bush, his goats became so energetic they wouldn't sleep at night. They were literally dancing. Curious, Kaldi tried the berries himself and felt a massive rush of energy. He took them to a local monastery, but the monks were skeptical. They called them a devil's fruit and tossed them into a fire. But as the berries roasted in the flames, an incredible aroma filled the room. The monks quickly raked the roasted beans out of the embers, crushed them, and dissolved them in hot water. Suddenly, they realized this devil's fruit was exactly what they needed to stay awake during long nights of prayer. Whether the story of the dancing goats is 100% true or just a great legend, we do know that coffee's journey really took off when it crossed the Red Sea into Yemen. By the 15th century, it was being grown in the Arabian Peninsula. This is where Kawa was born. It wasn't just a drink. It was a social revolution. The first coffee houses, or kahve canes, began appearing in cities like Cairo and Istanbul. They were called schools of the wise, because they were the only places you could go to hear news, listen to music, play chess, and discuss politics without the fog of alcohol. For a long time, the Arab world had a total monopoly on coffee. They were so protective of it that they would boil the beans before export to make sure no one could plant them elsewhere. But in the 17th century, a pilgrim named Baba Budan reportedly smuggled 7 fertile seeds taped to his stomach back to India. Not long after, Dutch traders managed to sneak a few plants out and started plantations in Java, Indonesia. The secret was out, and the global coffee race was on. When coffee finally hit Europe, people didn't know what to make of it. Some doctors claimed it was a cure-all, while some priests called it the bitter invention of Satan. The controversy got so heated that Pope Clement VIII was asked to ban it. But after he took a sip, he famously declared, "This devil's drink is so delicious. It would be a pity to let the infidels have exclusive use of it." He baptized the coffee, and the European coffee house craze exploded. These coffee houses changed history. In London, they were called penny universities, because for the price of a cup of coffee, you could sit and learn from the greatest minds of the era. Lloyd's of London, the famous insurance market, started in a coffee house. The London Stock Exchange started in a coffee house. Even the Enlightenment and the French Revolution were fueled by people getting caffeinated and talking about radical new ideas. Before coffee, most people drank weak beer or cider all day because the water wasn't safe. Humanity was essentially living in a permanent, mild drunken stupor. Coffee flipped the switch, trading a depressant for a stimulant. It's no coincidence that the scientific revolution happened right as Europe started waking up to caffeine. As the demand grew, the invention shifted toward the science of the brew itself. For centuries, you just boiled the grounds in water. But in the 19th century, we got the first percolators. Then, in 1901, an Italian inventor named Luigi Bezzera got frustrated that it took too long to make his morning cup. He figured out that if you used high pressure to force water through the grounds, You could get a concentrated, expressed coffee in seconds. The espresso was born in 1908. A German housewife named Melita Bentz was tired of the bitter sludge at the bottom of her cup. She tore a piece of blotting paper from her son's school notebook, put it in a brass pot with holes, and created the first coffee filter. This simple hack paved the way for the clean, crisp drip coffee most of us drink today. Today, coffee is the second most traded commodity on Earth, right after crude oil. We've gone from dancing goats to freeze-dried instant coffee, to massive global chains, and now to third wave specialty roasts where people talk about flavor profiles like they're fine wine. It's a drink that has sparked revolutions, fueled the industrial age, and continues to be the primary engine of our modern, fast-paced world. The next time you take that first sip in the morning, remember Chaldee's goats and the centuries of smugglers, popes, and inventors who worked to make sure you got your fix. It's a lot of history for one little bean. Do you think you could have survived the Enlightenment without caffeine? Or are you firmly in the no coffee, no work camp? Thanks for watching.